Okay, so I had kind of a strange experience, kind of a disheartening experience almost. So I had recently on one of my videos, you could see an idea about about increasing the aerodynamic efficiencies of the Falcon 9 ship, and the only reason why I wanted to do this is because I heard that Elon Musk was temporarily putting off work on Starship to get Starlink built up, and that's using, guess what, the Falcon 9 rocket, okay? And so I was like, you know what, if we want to do that, we can increase the aerodynamic efficiency by using golf ball dimples, because lots of money has been put into the aerodynamics of golf ball dimples. Okay, they figured out that's the best way to increase the maximum distance of per hit. Okay, so that's going to increase the aerodynamics and increase your total amount of payload to orbit, your mass to orbit. You could even make your fairings even wider, maybe even send more satellites, maybe even 10 to 15% better increase of aerodynamic efficiency, which would allow you to get shit. And granted, this would only be effective up to maximum Q, or max Q, max pressure of everything, and then it's going to start to lose its effectiveness. But this would be a simple idea that you put these dimples in there, and you also increase the strength of the metal. So by putting these dimples, you are putting more surface area of metal, so you can use a thinner metal. Okay, and so you use a thinner metal and you use more surface area. And the beauty of it is because these aren't attached to the main boosters. Since they're not attached to the main boosters, and they separate and they land separately from the booster, unlike Rocket Lab, or with their new rocket that they're working on, because the Starlink ones are the Falcon 9 fairings land separately. You can make this work, because you won't be increasing the aerodynamic efficiency. Because if you increase the aerodynamic efficiency of the actual rocket, then you're going to have increased speed. You're going to have to use more fuel to land, so you're going to have to use more an increased amount of fuel to land, because you increase that. So that might be detrimental. But with the fairings, it's 100% not detrimental, because the fairings they separate. Okay, and so literally by not doing this, it costs money. So I was wanting to get this information to someone, so I looked and looked all online. I finally figured out the format of the SpaceX and the SpaceX the SpaceX employee list, of how they do it, the first and last name, and the three different types of ways they do it. And I've got in contact with Gwen Shotwell, and told her I had an idea. Didn't tell her exactly what it was, because I wanted just some acknowledgement. That's all I really want, is just some acknowledgement, and to tell people about stuff. And I tell her after she says okay, and she wanted to know what it was, not to send an attachment, because obviously if it's an attachment, then they could download some type of malicious file. I'm not being malicious. I'm just trying to tell them some important information about increasing their total amount of payload to orbit. Okay, so you'd be able to get at least probably maybe five more satellites per each load. That would pay for itself in no time at all. Okay, because you're halting work on the Starship, and if you're halting work on the Starship, why not put a little bit extra effort into your Falcon 9? Just it's a simple tweak. It's a simple thing to do, and she thinks that it'd be too expensive. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, that you think it'll be too expensive to do? I'm just like, well, that's what everyone thought about landing fucking rockets back on Earth. That'll be too expensive. Well, I think it's expensive not to, because you're not getting your fuel efficiency. You're wasting fuel. You're wasting total amount of deliverable payload to orbit. You're being wasteful. And that's exactly what people said about relandable aircraft. And what happened? Elon Musk came in there and made this. I thought this company. I was really disheartened by this. Honestly, I thought this was one of the companies that was engineer led, and had ideals that were based out of engineering and based out of doing what is best for it. Engineers ruled. I thought the engineers ruled. Honestly, I guess I was under big misunderstanding, because I thought this company was actually into doing, what was best, because of this would honestly pay for itself, and eventually this pays itself off, just like solar. It costs money up front. Yeah, everything costs money to develop. That's life. But I thought, they would do that. But I guess they're just not. They're done with that ship. They're done with the Falcon 9, and they're just going to use it for what they got. And they're not interested in developing it anymore. And I don't know. That was kind of a strike. I've always I even said I'd be interested in being a janitor at their company. I always wanted to work for SpaceX or Tesla, but I always thought they were engineer based. I thought the engineer ruled there. I thought they were efficiency machine and fixing things that needed to be fixed, and saving money. And anyways, it brought me to a tear. Honestly, I couldn't help myself but to cry, because that was the one company I had faith in still, and now I really have no faith in them anymore. Anyways, I love you all, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Otherwise, you'll never see this channel again, because it's just a miracle you're here. Anyways, love you all. Till next time. Talk to you all later. Bye.